To the Empowered Purpose podcast. This is for women who have been broken but refuse to stay there. Born homeless after my father fled the communist takeover of our country, Laos. We came to America with just $40 and a dream. I grew up bullied for my differences, lost in who I was. Life tested me through trauma, loss, and then losing my husband to cancer. But I'm still here, and now I'm choosing to live. This is for the women who are healing, building, and becoming. No matter what life throws at you, you still get to choose to live fully.
Welcome to Empowered Purpose Podcast. I am your host, Laura Empowhers. Today, our special guest is Mercides Parker. Mercides is going to be diving deep into her story of how she turned pain into purpose while following her dreams. And a lot of times, not everybody has your vision, and she's going to share with us the obstacles that got in her way, got her to where she is today. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
So, my name is, she just said it. My name is Mercides Parker. I do a lot, actually. I'm a photographer, a videographer. I do content creation for different brands, and I am the brand content director here at Silhouette Creative Studio.
Awesome. And Mercides, we want to talk about your journey, starting from as a child, right? That led to where you are today, and also some of the obstacles, because that is what our show is about. It's about being built from the scars that were meant to break us and how you overcame that. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and what shapes you to who you are today.
So for those of you guys who don't know, I used to be a clown. Let's just start there. I used to be a clown. My mom had and still has, in some type of way, we had a children's entertainment business where we used to do balloon art, birthday parties, hosting events, all kind of stuff. And so I always was kind of in the creative space and always had kind of a passion for it. Growing up in my mom's business, I did a lot of the photography and videography, which is funny that I'm doing it now. But I would always just have a camera in my hand, always recording. And then as I got older, I got more into recording my own dance videos because I also dance. So when she had her theater program in the city, I actually was one of the junior counselors, and I used to teach hip hop and contemporary dance and really got into it. So I've always, like I said, been in the creative space and just always tried to dibble and dabble in each kind of category of, theater arts and stuff like that. And so I really found my passion in being able to capture the moments. My friends when I got to high school, my friends used to be just irritated because I would always have my phone in my hand just recording what's going on, taking pictures of people, and they're like, girl, put your phone down. And now it's my career, so,
Wow. It's kind of like me when I was younger. I used to be the only one doing everyone's hair and makeup and all of that. And then it just grew into right out of high school, I'm going to go be a beautician.
And it's crazy how that is because most times, and I'm trying to do that with my kids. I'm also a mom. I have two boys. I have an 8-year-old and a almost 6-year-old. Okay. And they're something. I love them, but the little one is something. Yeah. But even with them, I'm trying to now focus on that because a lot of the times your gifts or what you're supposed to do, it'll show up in your childhood. And so I'm trying to pay attention to their passions, different things that they're just naturally good at, because sometimes that coincides with what you're going to do later on in life. So that's interesting that you said that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But some people search their whole life to find what they're passionate about. And here you are. You've been a clown since you were little. You've been chasing people around, with cameras and
real clown guys. Look me up.
And I truly believe that is your passion, the camera.
Literally,
it's almost like that's home for you. You just absolutely you go into this deep creative space. What do you think led you to having that passion for photography and video?
So I would say just kind of, so I started a business back in 2021. I had my second son in 2020, and I had gained a bunch of weight, and kind of I was at this weird place where I wanted to change my life, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And so I started, I signed up for like an influencers online program, and I was like working out. I followed her plan, and I lost in total, because like once you access the plan, you can do it. You have access to it for a year.
Yeah.
So I did it 3 months, and each month I lost 20 pounds.
What?
I was 220
Oh,
pounds,
my
y'all. My son really did it to my body, okay? So I lost the weight, and everybody was like, oh my God, what's the secret? Like everywhere I went, they're like, no way you have 2 kids. Like, girl, you look banging, like da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay, you know, I had a passion for helping people, because that's also, so my passion is photography and videography, but my purpose is helping women to live healthier and just healthier lives and happier lives, and that's through taking care of their body. And so for me, I knew I wanted to do something with moms, and I knew I wanted to like help them, but at that point I was like, I don't feel like I personally can train people. At that point, I was like, I'm still learning stuff. But for me, a big motivator was workout gear. When you put on a cute outfit, you're like, yes, I'm going to the gym. I'm about to get a good workout in. So I started my business, Mothers in Love with Fitness, and I started out with that, doing like workout sets, gear, all different kind of stuff. And I kind of got into photography and videography because I had to market the products online. So I started off, you know, with an Instagram page, website, everything. And so I really I started asking my friends to come, and like my friends that were moms, I'm like, hey, could you model for me? I just need to take some pictures. And so I was taking the pictures, and then I would send them like the download link, and they're looking at them like, girl, can I book you for like, these are fire. Like, can I book you outside of it? And I never really paid attention to different things, but people would always want me to record, or always like, just growing up, oh, can you get this? Like, I like the video you did this, or can you know, so I started paying more attention to it. And I was like, you know what, in 2022 was actually when I started taking photography and videography seriously. And I was like, okay, I've been doing it for myself, for my businesses, and I would do it for other people. But I was like, okay, I'm going to start kind of curating a lot of stuff for myself and see what I can really do with this. And that's when I started getting into influencing. I started getting brand deals. And at the time, for my personal photos, I actually was having my husband to do my photos for me. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, you know, when they say like, you got a nice camera, and people are like, oh, the camera takes nice pictures. And it's like, no, it's the person taking the pictures. Because a lot of the times the pictures would be blurry. And it had got to the point where like something ended up happening. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start taking my own photos. And that's when I started getting more into like just really diving fully deep into, okay, I think this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm just naturally good at it. When it comes to like editing reels and stuff like that, I could do it in my sleep. I've actually timed myself. I went maybe like a year ago, I was walking through the store, and I had to edit a video, and I was like, I was grocery shopping with the kids, and I was like, you know, let me see how long it'll take me to edit this video. And I edited like a video in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then you became like, oh, hey, this is it.
This is it.
So now, now that you've established, like, this is what I want to do, this is my passion, were there any obstacles in the way? Because I know for me, like, when it comes to art or non-traditional ways of making money, people tend to frown down upon, just like I was told, oh, you're going to beauty school? Oh, you're going to be broke and poor. You know what I'm saying? So
why would they speak that?
You know what I'm saying? So tell me a little bit about, like, okay, so now here you are, you're starting your journey. Were there any obstacles?
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna dive. Okay. We're gonna dive a little bit. Okay.
All
right. So my trying to see how to word this or how to bring it
Yeah.
back. So I decided, like I said, that I was going to go ahead and start taking social media a little bit serious, photography, videography. I had already kind of done social media kind of for myself because I was posting dance videos before I got into doing photos and stuff like that. I had a dance video that actually went viral. It hit 10 million views, and everywhere I was going, they're like, "You're that girl. You be dancing, right? You be dancing." And so I had my own like YouTube channel, and so when I got in my relationship with my husband, we actually started doing YouTube together.
Oh, wow.
And so we had like a whole family YouTube channel. People were subscribing. They would be tuned in like, "Hey, we saw your video and this and this and that." And so it kind of segued into, okay, we were making money from YouTube, and I was, doing all the editing, myself. But it helped me shape like understanding how to edit, how to come up with intros, outros for videos, how to script stuff. It was really interesting. And then I got to 2020, the pandemic, and I was like, you know what? I'm watching all of these people literally make money, buy houses, buy cars off of social media. And I was like, I want to do that. I feel like I'm charismatic enough where I feel like when I talk or when I go places, people listen.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I think I want to start doing this like separately from my husband, and it became a problem because we had done our entire, like, we had nonprofits together, we had a lot of businesses together. So I feel like for him it was like, oh, well, we've done everything together, now you're going off and you're kind of doing something separate. But I feel like in any relationship or any marriage or anything, you still have to have your own identity and your own passions, that you focus on your own hobbies. Absolutely. Everything should not always be where you have to do something with somebody because sometimes things don't work out, or you may just have different like viewpoints on certain things, where it's like sometimes it's okay to have certain things for yourself. And so in 2020 I was like, I told him, I said, I think I want to do social media full time, and it was like a whole thing. And he was like, well, just show me what you can do. I'm gonna give you a month to kind of see if you can do it. And then, if you're not making money in the next month, I think you should get a real job. Oh. So, of course, anybody knows that anything that you build, it takes time. A lot of time. And especially a month of trying to generate income from something that is new, it's going to take more than a month. Yes. I had to kind of be realistic about it, but I was given kind of unrealistic, like an unrealistic time frame for it. And so I ended up going and getting a regular job because I couldn't show. The views were there, but the money wasn't. Yeah. And so I had first started off with dance videos, and I was like, okay, things are going good. Everybody had already known that I, dance and stuff, so the content was going great. But I was like, I want to get more into fashion because I want to start getting brand deals. I want, Shein and Fashion Over to, run a check, okay? All this money that I'm spending on these clothes, they need to run a check. Yes. So I started getting more into it, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to work, but I'm still going to work on my passion. I'm going to go and clock in at this job, but I'm still going to be making videos when I get off. I'm still going to be, I was still, at that point too, I had started training. So I had shifted into just having the Mothers in Love with Fitness business to just be gear. But now I had an app. Me and my friend, she actually had her degree in nutrition. So she was like, we can partner together. I can put the meal plans together. You put the workouts together. And like, I do design. So I'm designing the app and everything. And so we launched, and things were going really, really great. But I was like, I still don't feel like this is it. And so I had ended up quitting the job. And I was like, I think I'm going to focus on, because it was hard for me to navigate both, because I was working like overnight shifts and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is just too much. I just can't. So I ended up like telling my husband that, like, I think that this is it. I was like, I feel like God is telling me, because it was so many different signs, and I was like, I feel like God is telling me that I'm supposed to be doing social media.
Wow.
Like in some form. I was like, I don't know what it looks like. I didn't know that it would be this to this day. It would turn out to be this, but I was like, I think I'm supposed to be doing social media. And he had just went through a situation where he's a locomotive engineer, and somebody actually jumped in front of his train and they committed suicide. And so he was off of work for a little bit, and they gave him a desk job, and he was like going through therapy and everything. And I had never seen him that way before. Like, we've had our issues and stuff, but like I never saw him. Like, I saw for the first time my husband be broken.
Oh.
And like, he really doesn't show feelings like that. So it was really like difficult for us to navigate. And then I was trying to be there for him, but also trying to remind him, like, you can get through this. And it really sent a rift in our relationship. And while he was trying to figure out what the next steps were for him, he was still pushing, well, somebody got to go out and make the money. You need to get a job. You need to do this. And I had already decided, like, no, I'm going to do content at this point. So I remember this was back in 2023. Okay. We ended up, it was like an all day back and forth. I was trying to stand my ground because I knew what God was telling me to do. And it was to the point where I'm like, even if this is going to get to the point where it's going to create a rift, I need to be obedient to what God is telling me to do.
Right.
And so all day he was like, you need to get a job. This is not making sense. He was trying to make me feel so small that day, to shift what I already knew was supposed to be my calling. And so he was like, you're not making any money. Like, it's not even bringing any money. Like, you're chasing something. It doesn't make any sense. You need to get a real job.
Right.
Social media is not a real job. And like, it had got to the point, it was like an all day argument. I remember we were on the first floor and I went outside. It was in February, so it was like super, super cold outside. And I was like, I just need to stand out here because it had got so bad. He was like harassing me. And so I had got in the shower. Before I went outside, I had got in the shower. He was like yelling at me. And like, this is something that I had dealt with a lot throughout the relationship, but I guess at this point, it was like, because it was coming to the end, it got really, really bad. And so I ended up going into the bathroom. I was like showering, and like he was just standing there I'm literally crying in the shower, taking a shower, crying. And it's just like, he just wasn't really paying attention because he was so fixated on, no, I need you to do what I told you to do. And so I ended up getting out the shower. I had like a t-shirt on and like my underwear, and I literally went outside. And I was like, I'm just hoping somebody walks past and they just like hear him, because this is just insane.
He was loud.
It was bad. It was really bad. And so he ended up locking me outside because I didn't want to talk about what he was saying, because it was like, most times people who are like that, they want you to engage so that they can get a reaction and you can match their energy. And I don't like that. I'll disengage in a second and I'll stop. You won't exist. You can talk to yourself. So I went outside. He ended up locking me out. And so I was like, at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to be cool or whatever. And then I remember banging on the thing, and he had to let me in, and he literally unlocked the door, opened it just enough for him to stand out and finish his conversation. And I ended up pushing him to get back inside because now I'm cold. I've been out there for a minute. And so I pushed him to get in. We're literally pushing each other. And then we ended up getting into a physical altercation. And so we were like, he had pinned me down. I was like swinging on him. It got really, really intense. And to the point where I had put my coat on after things had settled down, and I went into the hallway, and I was like, did we just fight each other? Over content creation?
Right. Oh, no.
Is it really that serious? Right. And so it had got to the point where he was supposed to go to the gym that day, and he was just there, just picking a fight. I was really confused why we were fighting. About something as minimal as what I was doing with my time and how I was spending my time. And so I ended up going out to the hallway. I put my coat on, and I was like, I cried for like 30 minutes because I think it took me a second to like process what really happened. And then when I went back inside, it was like he was still amped up. I took my time to calm down, but he didn't, because he still had that point to prove. Like, no, you're not doing content. No, you're gonna go get a job. You're gonna help pay these bills and this and this and that. And honestly, that was me stepping out of my femininity now and stepping into a masculine role, when that was his role, to be masculine and be the provider. And it was like the roles had reversed, where he was like, well, I'm not gonna go work because I just went through this traumatic situation, which is understandable. But you don't put your own like, when you're healing and when you're going through stuff, you shouldn't have let it affect people to the point where you're still not getting your stuff done. If you need to go heal, if you need to go do what you need to do, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you're still the man in this relationship, and you need to put your big boy pants on and go do what you need to do to be the provider for your family. And it wasn't that. It was now kind of playing victim in a sense, and now I need you to do this. So I'm going to make you feel small and try to manipulate you so that I can get you to do exactly what I need you to do, which is going to get a regular job so that I can relax a little bit. And so I went back inside of the apartment, and he was still amped up. And I remember just, he was following me back and forth, like through the hallway. I was just walking back and forth, and I was just like trying to get him to leave me alone. And there were like clothes on the floor, and I ended up bumping into him because I had turned around and he was right there. And literally, I don't remember anything else.
Wow.
And when it was like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was an out of body experience where I just remember like the room was spinning. And my head was just hurting, and I went like this, and it was blood.
What happened?
So when I had bumped into him, I guess he thought that I had hit him. Because he was following, he was like right behind me. And so he ended up picking me up and slamming me on the floor. We lived on the first floor, so that's
Oh my goodness.
that's hard. And so I ended up hitting my head. And when I say, like, you know, like in those movies where, you know, that you see them pop the pills and the room is like all like, that's how it was. But it was like, my head was like pounding. I had just hit the floor. And so he was like, sit down, like, you know, and I didn't even know what was going on. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm arguing still. I'm coming to, and I'm like,
still arguing.
I'm thinking we're still arguing, and he's like, no, you need to sit down. Like, you need to sit down.
Oh
and so he ended up leaving to go to the gym, and I'm texting him. I'm like, what is going on? Why is my head hurting? Like, what? He didn't even tell me what happened. And I think he didn't want to text it either, so that there was text of it. And so he went, and I feel like he went and maybe called somebody and was like, yo, like, this just happened, whatever. Because when he came back, he was like, I need to explain to you what happened. And he was like, you know, you had bumped into me, and I thought, like, you had hit me or something like that. And we just went right back into it. And so he picked me up. We were right in the hallway. The kids' room was right there. And he slammed me down. I hit my head, and I blacked out. And I literally feel like I died that day.
Wow.
Such a crazy moment in time, and more recently. So I couldn't even remember what we were arguing about until recently. God just had me to have this like realization where he was like, this is deeper than you think. This doesn't even have anything to do with your relationship. This is about your calling. This is about what I have you to do, what I'm gonna have you to do down the line. I knew that content was going to be something that I was going to be doing long term. I needed to figure out what it looked like. And in 2022, I actually started my Moments by Mercides business because, like I said, after I started the fitness business and I was taking photos for my friends, they started asking me to do like family shoots and like product shoots for their products or their businesses. And so it really just kind of catapulted me into learning how to market, how to brand different businesses, how to create content that wasn't just like pretty photos or pretty videos, but actually stuff that would have people to come through the door or spend their money with these different businesses. And so this is just a crazy, like, full circle moment that now I'm sitting here with you, because I always saw myself kind of doing these different things, doing podcasting, doing videography, photography. I've always wanted to just be at a place where I could just be confident in myself and in my authentic self.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so blessed to be here and just to have this opportunity where people kind of see me for who I am and see my talents and gifts and continue to help expand them and explore them.
Absolutely.
So it's been a wild, crazy ride, but you know, a lot of times pain will lead you right to your purpose. And sometimes, you know, you guys will have certain people that will be around you that are on assignment to stop you from getting to those places and to be a delay or an obstacle in that so that you don't see yourself the way that God sees you. Because that's been something that I've been asking God, like, show me the way that you see me. And he's been doing that the last couple of years, really, really, like, because he's a creative. Like, he literally created the world. He created us. So thinking that we're made in his image, we are creators. We invent stuff. We come up with stuff all the time. And we can't think that we just have these different gifts and these different visions for no reason. No, God is trying to show you certain things so that you can get closer to what your purpose is in life. And a lot of times it's unfortunate, but you do have to go through certain things, because I will say, although it's very unfortunate that I did go through the relationship that I did and the trauma that I did, it helped me to shape exactly who I am today. And I don't take any BS from anybody. And I was not like that before the relationship. All throughout the relationship, I would never speak up for myself. I was a people pleaser. I just wanted everybody to like me. And you get nowhere doing that. If you want everybody to be your friend, first off, everybody is not your friend. Everybody does not have good intentions for you. And you cannot think that just because somebody is nice, that they have your best intentions at heart, because they don't. And I had to realize that even when it came to like family or immediate friends, during that same time that God was separating me from my husband, he was pruning all of my friendships, down to the point where my high school friend, she was like, you know, I know you're on your walk with God and I love that for you, but I don't think, you know, and we ended up not being friends. And I was like, what is happening? And so I felt like I was losing so much, but God was like, he was working behind the scenes. Like, look, first off, you can't take everybody with you. Because you'll have people in your ear telling you, just like your husband told you, no, you're not supposed to do social media. And you know that this is what I'm calling you to do. So I'm just going to start pulling everybody that's not supposed to go on this walk with you. Because you can't take everybody with you.
Do you feel like after you left your husband and like you're on this self-discovery journey, am I correct?
Yes.
Like, if I'm understanding correctly, you're on the self-discovery journey. Do you feel like once you are on that journey, you start to become a different person, that you start to realize that people fall off?
Yes.
Because you have become this different person that they're not used to or they don't have access to.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, God brings new people and those other ones get replaced.
And so you're never supposed to stay the same. So I don't like when people be like, oh, you switched up or you changed. You're supposed to. You're never supposed to be the same person. That's why you go through different things that shape you in such a way where you have to continue to grow. And especially if you have a specific calling over your life, you're not supposed to stay the same. So God will send experiences, people, different things to happen in your life that kind of pushes you in that place. And sometimes it happens where your friends are pulled and you don't have the same friend group because they can't carry you, or they can't even handle sometimes where God is leading you to. And so, he'll replace them with people, because you always meet people where you are.
Right.
That's something that I'm noticing too. I'm noticing that in these moments where, like, I'm being more aware and intentional with my friendships, with relationships, with anything that's going on, where it's like, if it's not sent from you, remove it. I do that prayer all the time, like, Lord, please. That removal prayer, and it's something serious, because he worked real fast. He be like, yo, I've been waiting to remove this person. Thank you. Now we in alignment. Let me go ahead and then you, So, so it's been really interesting. It does suck sometimes because you want, like, especially like, you know, people be like, oh, we've been friends for 10 plus years and this and this and that. And I'm like, I wish that I had that with a lot of my friendships, but it's like, I'm finally getting to a place where I'm more okay with it, where it's like, I do miss a lot of my old friends, but honestly, like, looking at my life now and how things are going now, they probably wouldn't be able to handle this.
No.
And I had a lot of friends too that, like, would be irritated, like, girl, put your phone on. Why are you always recording us? And I'm like, girl, because this is my calling. What you mean? I'm just like, this how I pay my bills. Right. What do you mean? You gonna pay them?
Right. You're always on your phone. You're always posting content.
You're always editing. Yes.
You're always
and so
posting
now,
content.
And that's why I'm like, even when we just, we're starting the podcast and getting set up, I'm listening to you go through things, and I had to ask her, I'm like, are you editing? And it's like, yes, I'm finally around people who get it.
Yeah.
Who understand and who are there to continue to help me explore that without me feeling like it's a burden or it's something that's like frowned upon. And that's why I'm really, really happy that things happen the way that they happen, because I'm able to stand on, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. This is where God has called me to be. And I'm just really, really happy to be at Silhouette. Like, really and truly.
That is so awesome.
Truly.
And I think, just listening to your story, I think there's a good lesson here, because from what I'm like gathering and from what you're sharing, it's like you choosing you first and foremost. And I feel like that's what not a lot of us do, to live our lives for the people that are around us. And I think that more people should take this seriously. And at the end of the day, people are going to come and go from our lives.
Yes.
I just lost my husband last year, right? People are going to come and go at every stage of our lives. And it's like, okay, here comes a new child. Okay, now you have a new, right. Or they go off to college. Now they're not here. Like, you're going to have different stages in your life, but the only constant is you. And I'm proud of you for, like, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my happiness. I'm choosing what makes me happy.
Yes.
And so that's very commendable.
Thank you.
I know you had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, like, to get there. But for you to stand your ground, no matter what it is, and to just continue to follow your passion and turning your pain into purpose, literally. I feel like that's very commendable, because a lot of people will stay stuck in those situations. And they will stay stuck because we tend to fall back to what's familiar.
Yes.
Even if it's trauma, it's familiar, right? We don't want to take the step into faith because that's unfamiliar territory. Yes. But if we try it, we'll see that God's always got his hand holding us. He's not going to let us fall.
Yes.
And so many people should, take that too. I think I also heard that the biggest thing they've surveyed, I don't know how many people, maybe 100 people, and a majority of the people at their deathbeds said that their biggest regret is not living for themselves or not doing what they wanted to do and living for others. And that's their biggest regret. And you've already accomplished that. You've already took a step forward to live for yourself.
Yes.
And that's amazing.
Thank you.
So I love it.
And I encourage those of you guys who are watching and listening, if you have somebody in your life, and it could be friends, family, a teacher, like, because I've encountered this in different places, and I just always knew that, not to toot my own horn, but I always knew that I would be somebody.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you'll be around people that will see that same, like, glow and just, you know, this light that you carry. And sometimes they wish that they had that same light, or they wish that they had your, you know, God-given talents and gifts.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they'll make you feel like, you know, oh no, this isn't what you're supposed to do, or they'll kind of throw like the pros and cons when you say, oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, well, that's gonna be hard. You don't have the money, you don't have this, you don't have that, and they start
They're throwing their fear on you.
Yeah, they start sowing seeds of doubt into what you already know is just natural for you. And so sometimes it's not always about the money or about the resources. Sometimes you just gotta roll your sleeves up and start getting dirty. Yeah, and start really figuring out what that looks like for you personally, because it may not be, you know, owning a business. It may be, you know, helping people, or whatever that looks like for you. You guys have to start questioning, well, what am I naturally good at? What is something that, you know, people have always said, like, oh wow, you just do that so well. It just comes so naturally to you. Those are things that God instills in you for you to pour back into other people. And also be careful who you're pouring into, because everybody is not your assignment. So that's something that I also had to learn, where I'm such a lover and a giver, where I'm if you got an idea, if you got a business, especially because I have that business mindset, if you are trying to do something, I'm like, all right, I done already wrote down the game plan. I done wrote out the strategy. I'm already taking photos. All right, what videos we gonna do? What content we gonna do? How we gonna market this? And
then they don't move at the same pace.
And so sometimes a lot of people I'm realizing are like talkers, but they're not executors.
Absolutely.
And so I'm learning that, like, yes, you can help everybody, but you have to be very diligent and cautious with where you put your time and your attention, because sometimes the enemy will send different assignments and different things where, yes, it's great for you to maybe like push that person on their own to start doing stuff. But if you start, like, you're gonna drain yourself. Okay. So that's something that also I've been paying attention to, where it's like, okay, I have to be very mindful of like what I'm doing, who I'm around, and just being more intentional, because I'm like, if even here, I'm realizing that you're giving people the space here to tell their testimony, to give them a voice. Maybe they've never, because I've never talked about this situation publicly. I've, you know, told my friends and stuff like that, and specific people know, but I've never actually spoke on it on this level. And so I just want to first say thank you to you for giving me this platform and giving me this space to share and be vulnerable, because this is very, very, very okay. We're really getting into it. But I just want to say, like, it even comes down to, now that I'm here and I'm actually seeing what you have going on here, even what you're doing here coincides with your purpose, and you allowing other people to feel seen and heard in ways that they may never have in their entire life. And so for this to be because I know this isn't the end. We got a lot of stuff, guys. We got a lot of stuff in the works. We're just
beginning.
We're just beginning, but just to see the beginning, where even that first day that I came, and you know, the lady from, I can't remember her name. She was from she has the domestic organization where she, I don't know if it's
the social worker.
She helps transitional. She has a transitional
housing.
You're
talking about Tina, and she was Bridging Heart.
She was telling her story, and you were telling your story, and everybody was kind of sharing, and I was like, this place, first off, is anointed, number one. And two, it is in alignment with what God is trying to allow in people, where like the enemy wants you to sit in the shame.
Oh, yeah.
He wants you to sit in the hurt and the pain. He doesn't want you talking about it. And you literally have created a space that completely goes against that.
Right.
Where it's like, no, we're
gonna talk about
yes,
it.
we're gonna talk about it. You're gonna publish your book and put it out there and allow people to read and feel like they're not alone, because that's what it really is about. It's because going back to the situation where the person had committed suicide, what if they had not the platform, but just knowing that they're not alone in their situation, or, you know, because a lot of people go through stuff, and the enemy wants you to take yourself out. If he can't take you out somewhere else where he's tiring you out,
You're good.
where, you know, he's tiring you out, or he's taking your energy, or even taking you off of this earth.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's really trying to do.
Oh,
He's trying to, I've never seen the suicide rate so high, where like even after the altercation in the situation, I wasn't to a place where I was like, oh, I'd take my own life, but I was so numb where I was going outside and I was stepping outside, like, you know, if I got hit by a car or something happened, like, I'll be okay, because it was like, it was such a crushing pain where I just didn't want to be here anymore. And sometimes the enemy will put you in certain situations where if he can't take your life in one way, he'll try to have you take your own life. And now you're not completing your assignment and the different things that God has orchestrated for you to do. And so I'm so happy that I've been on this journey of healing and on this journey of really, really getting back to myself and really figuring out, okay, you've lived your life for other people. You've done so much for other people. What do you want to do at this point? Where are you at where you know, you wake up and you just have this joy? Like, what brings you joy? And this, what I'm doing now, literally brings me joy. I feel so great to wake up and know that I can add value to what other people are doing. And honestly, what my job is helps other people make more money, because I do marketing for brands. So it's just like, it's a full circle moment where, although, like I said, it's unfortunate the situations that we go through, but it always brings you right to, like, everything, your story is already written out. That's number one. And so, you know, we just wake up every day and we're dealing with all this stuff and dealing with all this, you know, chaos. And
but it's already been written out.
But it's like, it's a part of the story. Like, think about when you go and you watch a movie. What if it was all rainbows and like, it's got to be a plot twist in there for you to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And that's how life is. Life is a movie. It's really a movie. And it really do like be really life in.
So what's next for you then, Mercides?
So what's
next? And how can they get in touch with you?
Yes, so you guys, number one, can follow me on Instagram at Mercides Parker, Mercides Parker, or you can follow my photography and videography page, Moments by Mercides. Now I am fully devoted to allowing people to, one, follow their dreams and be inspired. And that's why I got more into content creation and focusing on it more seriously, because one, a lot of people, they wake up every day and they work a 9 to 5 and they go home and they're just miserable. And so that's not what we're called to do. We all have different talents and gifts. And my thing is helping people to figure out what that is, putting attention on it by creating content, allowing people to see that there's more to life than just what we've been settling for.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I really want to get into my own podcast. And it's so funny, right before I came here, me and my friends were trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what is it going to be about, or what are we going to do? Because we wanted to do like a group one. And I was like, I think I want to still do like one by myself. And I'm going to dive into, actually on my podcast, it's going to be The Truth Is, and it's going to be launching June 26th on my birthday. And I'm going to dive into spirituality and the Bible, and pretty much going into taboo topics that a lot of people don't talk about, like this situation where a lot of times people feel like they have to stay in a marriage because biblically, you know, you can't, God frowns upon divorce. And so don't take this and be like, yeah, Mercedes says, so I'm going to get divorced. That's not what I'm saying. But there are specific relationships that God does not ordain you to be in, and you get into because of your attachments, or you get into it because of your traumas from childhood. And those are going to be some of the things that I will be talking about on the podcast. And so, yes, so that, and then I also will be publishing a book going deeper into this whole thing. So you guys stay tuned. And honestly, just doing what I'm doing with you guys at the Creative Studio, just allowing people to have a voice and to get themselves out there on social media, because that's how we're reaching people nowadays. We're in the age of technology. So if you're not on social media and you're trying to promote whatever you're doing, or you're trying to get yourself out there, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Because you got to be on Instagram, you got to be on TikTok, you got to be on Facebook, all of the platforms. Try to, you know, put yourself out on YouTube. And honestly, sometimes we limit ourselves because we're so focused on what other people are going to think. And you have to get to that place where really you don't care.
Because your voice isn't for everybody, and your story is not for everybody. I remember when I first had lost my husband, and I was posting everything, my crying days, my happy days, my whole journey. And my daughter had told me that one of my cousins came to her and was like, I unfollowed your mom. She's too much. She posts too much. Okay, well, guess what? My post saved some lives.
Right.
Actually, because I was authentic and I was sharing those vulnerable moments. So, bye. See ya.
Like I was saying, everybody is not your assignment.
No.
And your story is going to affect, you have to put it out there for everybody, unfortunately, because Instagram is and these platforms are for the masses. But it's going to hit who it needs to hit, because that's why you're putting it out there. And people will take away what they want from it. People always have something to say, whether it's good or bad. You could be, you know, like I remember Chance the Rapper, he had like donated money, and they're like, isn't your marriage falling apart? Like, why are you donating money? You need to be focusing on taking care of your family.
People always have something to say.
And it's crazy. And so it's like, honestly, whether you're doing a good thing, a bad thing.
Yeah, whether you're doing good or bad, they're always going to have something negative to say. People talk. That's what they do. They talk.
And so you have to get to that
but
point.
Don't give it that energy.
Yes, where you're focusing on what makes you happy.
Yes. Focus really on what you want.
Yes.
And not what you don't want or what you don't like.
Because sometimes we're hyper-focused on that.
When you're hyper-focused on that, yes, then you get more of it. Where the energy goes, what is it called? I remember this saying, where the focus goes, like that's where the energy flows. So if you're focusing on like, you know,
like how people be like, oh, I always meet a man, or I always meet men that are horrible. It's going to keep happening because you're speaking it into existence.
I'm like, well, guess what? It's going to happen.
That's exactly what you're going to
do. When they say something negative, well, guess what? That is going to happen because you just said it.
Yes.
You either speak life or you speak death. Just like when I said, I need 5,000, guess what? 5,000 showed up. 5,000 showed up. I don't have to say it again.
Lord, send me a bill.
Right. You know?
$1 billion.
You know?
Tomorrow.
You know, he sometimes has to be realistic. Wait, that's not part of your plan, but
I need you to hustle. Put them gloves back on. There's more work to do. Then I'll send it.
Right.
Please send it.
Yes. So you do have to be careful of, you know, where your mindset is and where your focus is, especially when you're going through transition, the transitional period, and you know, stuff like that, a breakup, a loss, you know, like for me, it's been 1 year now I've gone through this loss, and you don't know because it's a new territory, right? So you're going to have your ups and down days, but the more up days that you can have, the better, and more focus, and the people you surround yourself with, and just keeping your mind on what you do want and not what you don't want.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
so I appreciate you coming on today. I
Thank
hope
you
that
for
was
having me.
very informational
yes.
to you guys. Mercedes left her situation because she chose herself. And I hope that that is a lesson. If you are in a relationship where, the spouse is controlling or wants to, be the person to tell you what to do and not to, and block your blessings, because some husbands or some wives are jealous of
Yes.
your blessings. And sometimes I've had that in my last,
You'll have that. They'll
I've
have that
had
envious
before in
spirit.
my last,
Mhm.
yeah. But just know that we all have a purpose here, and I'm empowering you to live your purpose, because this is the Empowered Purpose Podcast.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep.